So I find this in a chat, and it says, I'm as big a Vols fan as anyone, and I get that Tennessee fans wanted Hooker to play for the Titans. But every objective fan and expert in America sees Levis as clearly the better quarterback. If you're a subscriber to this show, you probably know I got a response to that.
Broadcasting live from the only establishment in town that can't kick him out. His own basement. The world according to Rocket.
Hey, now it is I, Rocket Man, and this is the world according to Rocket. I thank you for being here. If you like this channel, I'd appreciate it if you'd hammer that like button and give me a subscribe and ring the bell so that you'll be notified every time a new video is posted. Let me reread this to you here. So I'm stumbling upon the aftermath of the NFL draft, and I run across this. After the Tennessee Titans had a chance to take Hendon Hooker. Not only did they have an opportunity to take him, they traded up from an Arizona Cardinals pick was initially in that slot. They traded up to get the slot, and they pick Will Levis from Kentucky. So I will refer to them from now on as the Kentucky Titans. And I would request that you would do the same. So this guy says, I'm as big a Vol fan as anyone, and I get the Tennessee fans wanted Hooker to play for the Titans, but every objective fan and expert in America, like me, he's saying, sees Levis as clearly the better quarterback. He was projected to go 7th, and Hooker 47th. And yes, the Vols offense is seen nationally as gimmicky, and it's not just Kirby Smart saying that. This is a Tennessee fan saying this, who, in my opinion, has a very serious bad case of the dumbass. Now, I'm not outing the guy. I don't want to embarrass him. I'm just saying there are people out there that believe this, and this is one of them, and this is my response. Obviously, I had a response to this, and I went, seriously? Clearly, you have not evaluated Hooker and Levis's numbers comparatively. Do you not know how to do that, or are you just lazy? By the way, Saban doesn't think the Vols offense is gimmicky. Brian Kelly at LSU, he doesn't think it's gimmicky. Go ahead and ask him. Dave O'Sweeney, Clemson, he doesn't think it's gimmicky. Go on, ask him. For a well-educated man, I continue, your comment is just effing dumb. So we're going to have a look at the numbers. I'm not a smart man. I'm kind of Forrest Gump on a lot of things, but I ain't on this. This is just simple to look at. Will Levis's 2021 stats, 233 out of 353 attempts, 2,800 yards, 66% completion rate, 24 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. That's not good. 148 quarterback rating, right? Let's look at the next year, 22. Will Levis, 185 of 283, 2,400 yards. Not much of an improvement. 65%, about the same. 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Even worse than the year before. Now, what that means is, for context, for every 2 touchdowns that he threw 1 interception. Is that any good? I don't think that's any good. I don't. And he got sacked 36 times. He did improve his rating 4 or 5 points to 151.9. Now, let's look at Hendon Hooker. 229, 329, 3,100, 35, 69, almost 70% completion rate, 27 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. That's, as I recall, I think it's about a 14-to-1 ratio. Every 14 times he throws a touchdown pass, he'll throw an interception. As opposed to every other time with Levis's stats. He did get sacked 23 times. And he had a 175.5 rating. All right. Now, I mean, the numbers are just staggering in Hendon Hooker's favor. Staggering. Let's even compare him now to Bryce Young, the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Let's look at it. Here's Bryce Young. 245, a 380, 33, 28, about the same. 64%, way below Hendon Hooker. 32 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Not quite as good as Hendon Hooker, but again, head and shoulders above Will Levis. 163 rating versus Hendon Hooker's 175 rating. So look, there is a very solid and strong argument that Hendon Hooker could have gone number 1 in this draft. Obviously, he had the ACL injury, and he's going to have to improve or prove himself healthy once he gets into camp, wherever he gets to. In this case, that's the Lions. But look at this. I mean, it's crazy. It's ridiculous how much better Hendon Hooker is than Will Levis. Hendon Hooker is a cream of the crop. And let me just explain something here to you. Here's something that's very cool. We get to see his improvement from 21 to 22. About the same, 69% completion percentage. But here's something that's awesome. He went from 25.70 and 21 in terms of passing yards to 31.35, and he missed a game and a half. That would have easily been 1,000 yards improvement had he not gotten his injury. And now here's what I wanted to show you is this right here. Look here. This is the touchdown to interception ratio. 8 in 21, 8.7 to 1. So every 8.7 times he threw a touchdown pass, he threw an interception. But look at the improvement over 21 to 22. 13.5 to 1. That's just huge. I mean, that's crazy huge. Right? 11.3 and 21. This is air yards per attempt to 10.9, about the same. These are relatively the same. Yards per completion, 13.7. Sacks taken, look at this. 36 sacks in 2021 and 23 sacks in 2022. Just crazy. And here are the rushing yards. He ran more, he ran more in 2021 for more yards, 711, 566 in 2022. Holy crackers. I mean, the Tennessee Titans should, now they have this information, right? I just didn't discover this. I'm not with the CIA. Everybody has these numbers. They just chose to not let these numbers matter and bought into the bullshit about Will Levis. Now, I got nothing against Will Levis. Nothing. And I actually wish him the best. But I watched people like Will Levis, like Mitch Trubisky and Carson Wentz. Ooh, those guys were Marvel Comics kind of built quarterbacks. They're prototypes. They're going to be great. They're selling burgers at Whataburger. I don't know if they really are or not, but they're not what they thought they were going to be. And neither is Will Levis, in my opinion. The front office at the Tennessee Titans owes a lot of people an apology. Everybody's over there celebrating. No, this is great. No, it's not great. It's dumb. It's just dumb. You need to apologize to your own fans because you did not get the best guy. And I saw a video. I can't find it. I looked for it. I saw a video, can't find it, where the GM was talking about, well, we just decided to roll the dice. Yeah, well, you roll the dice with the wrong guy. And it's staggering that you can't see that. And you roll the dice with not only the wrong guy as a player, but the wrong guy that could bring some passion and energy statewide into your organization. And you just sat there and farted it away. It's really quite remarkable. My thinking is this. Tennessee Titans had these numbers. I mean, clearly Hendon Hooker is the better quarterback if we are to judge performance on the field. Hendon Hooker has mastered the position of quarterback on the college level in the SEC. Mastered it. By performance on the field against teams like not only Kentucky, but LSU, Alabama. He's playing at as high a level as any quarterback in the country. As I showed you, I compared his stats to the number 1 draft pick, who was Bryce Young at Alabama. So for this ignoramus to talk about how clearly Will Levis is the better quarterback, really, you don't know jack shit about quarterbacks, apparently. You know, and it's one of those things where, you know, these pundits, these people, these fat asses who've never played the game before, they have this Marvel Comics vision in their mind about what a quarterback should look like, you know, and that's what Will Levis looks like. He's big and brawny, and he's 6'4" or so, and he's just ripped, and and by his own admission, I have a cannon for an arm. Really? Free advice. If you have a cannon for an arm, you should let other people say that about your arm. You don't say that about your own arm. That's kind of like saying, I got a big... Shut up. Seriously. So here's some context of why it's bad. All right, number one, the Titans are building this new $2 billion domed stadium. It's awesome. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. The problem is, I don't understand why the stadium they have now has 69,000 seats, of which their average attendance this season was 55,000 in a 69,000 seat arena. Not arena, but a stadium, right? But they're going to build a $2 billion stadium, and they're only going to make it 60,000. So they're giving up 10,000 seats, essentially. That doesn't make sense to me. It seems like you should get more seats so you could get more butts in the seats and make more money and pay for your investment, right? I mean, but anyway, I don't know a whole lot about that. I'm kind of Forrest Gump when it comes to that stuff. But I do know this. They have a brand new general manager. He's got a great resume. He comes from the 49ers. And they've had a great resurgence in the past few years. So I'm kind of wondering, is he not aware of Tennessee football? Because Tennessee football over the past 2 years has been the story. Tennessee football, Josh Heupel, Hendon Hooker, Jalen Hyatt, Cedric Tillman. It's been a huge story. It was such a huge story. The first weekend in November last year, Tennessee was the number one football team in the country. Okay? Huge story. Hendon Hooker at the time was the leading candidate, the pundits said, for the Heisman Trophy. Now, if there's one thing you need is energy. You need your fan base to be on fire. All right? The fan base at Tennessee Volunteers at Neyland Stadium went from 18,000 in the COVID year to 100,000 6 different times last season. I mean, the University of Tennessee Martin game was sold out, for crying out loud. All their out-of-conference games were sold out. I mean, it's just huge. And all you had to do was take Hendon Hooker in that spot. And man, you would have been flooded for a half a decade with great positive energy and a better quarterback. That's why it's dumb. You got 100,000 people that show up at that place every Saturday. You got 50,000 that show up at your place. Really? And you can't see that? You can't see how that would benefit you and benefit your organization by taking Hendon Hooker instead of Will Levis, because we are objective and we know. You little people don't know. You're just Tennessee fans. You don't know. I mean, I'm not going to call you idiots because obviously you do well in your industry. But my God, this is just dumb. Dumb. Vrabel, I expected so much more out of you than that. I can almost forgive the general manager because he doesn't know. He's not here. It's not in him, Tennessee football. But Vrabel's been around long enough to beat on the desk and say, you know what? Yeah, I mean, man, we could get a lot of goodwill here, and we're getting the best quarterback. As Mark Cuban says on Shark Tank, Tennessee Titans, I'm out.